cryptography is useless, and maximizing key length is not useful either. So it's far easier to focus on backdoors. The main example would be Crypto-AG. Crypto-AG is a Swiss company. It's a major developer and distributor of cryptographic equipment for government-grade security. And suddenly in 1992, one of their salespersons, Mr. Böhler, was in Iran, captured, and interrogated for 9 months. Every day for 5 hours he was interrogated. And suddenly it became, public that the NSA was already involved from the 50s, after the Second World War, in the production and design of their cryptographic equipment, and that the NSA had a major hand in telling how things would be combined. There's a very nice book about it, and it all stems from a secret alliance that was made between NATO and Swiss just after the Second World War, where they said, well, in peacetime you're neutral, but if there's a war, just side with NATO. And Switzerland agreed. So, similar to a statement earlier, Mr. Hagelin is the director of Crypto-AG, and one of the engineers once asked him, why do we do this? Why do we let somebody, degrade our products? Because, Mr. Hagelin said, we, as Western countries, should have government-grade security, we should have good security, but it's very hard to let it give to third world countries. Okay, time is getting short, so I'm going a bit faster through these slides. In addition, there was a Greek tapping scandal 4 years ago, where a backdoor was installed in the telephone switch of the Vodafone provider. The system there was provided by Ericsson, and they had some kind of legal interception interface, and it wasn't enabled because you have to pay $2 million to enable it. And there was some software installed that enabled it, and secretly enabled it, and rerouted some traffic to a few pay phones that were only operated near the American embassy. Nobody knows for sure, but everybody thinks that the Americans have actually used that information. There was a recent incident in the UAE, and where even the Americans say they can read everything about Blackberries. But what I want to do is skip a bit ahead, and does that mean we can't trust anything anymore? No. Luckily, that's not the case, but it does require some extra things. You do need defense in depth. You do need real protection on multiple levels, and not just looking at physical things, but also procedural things, environment things, and transport. So what happens in the government level, and that's what we are doing for protecting our secrets, and what we are making in special products, is separating secret and non-secret information. On the one hand side, you have secret information, but you don't want it mixed with other information. That's why you use separation at a physical level and separation at an electronic level as much as possible to prevent leakage of that information. To prevent those antenna effects, you can shield the equipment and prevent that any information is leaked via radiation or whatever. In addition, you of course want to protect your equipment from tampering. You want to prevent it from manipulations, antennas being placed in it, and you already see that in the banking sector, where there's hardware security modules that are protected just for that case. And securing boot processes. You already see that in commercial systems, but protecting the integrity of your entire system is really, really important. But even secure design is not enough, because even if you have a secure design, you're still screwed. Because you need to trust the person that develops it. Crypto-AG had really good security design, but you couldn't trust them, so you can't trust their products in that sense. But even if you do trust the design and everything, during production, backdoors can be implemented. There's a very nice paper at the link there that describes how you can embed a backdoor in a processor just before it's being produced. Only minimal changes are needed, and it gives really, a true backdoor. And even then, your supply chain has to be really secure. Because if you have a backdoor in your supply chain, as was shown, last year in America, then you have a real problem. The FBI there found that all the major governments in America were using counterfeited Cisco equipment that came from China, were not produced by Cisco, but they didn't know for sure if there's not a backdoor in any one of those. And they're across the entire American government. So at a government level, for protecting your secrets, you really need trust. Everything is about trust, not only about your design, but also about everything that's related to it. So concluding, you really see that protecting secrets is hard. We already knew that, otherwise we didn't have a job. But protecting really important secrets is even harder. It all boils down to one thing, namely trust. You really have to trust your measures. So, what now? Are we really screwed? No. One of the things you have to keep in mind is don't keep too many secrets. If you have found a way to break RSA, publish it. Don't keep it in your backyard, write it on a paper and put it under your bed, because then you have secrets that governments want to have. Publish it. Make it public, and, you probably don't have a real situation. And aside from that, don't really worry. You probably aren't that important anyway. Do you really have information that's so important that real governments, real adversaries want to have that information? Are you really that important? So if you do, you have to gain trust. Same as governments, you have to have real trust in the solutions you're going to use. One of the things that can provide that, especially for the individual, is open source. On the one hand side, you have a large community checking it already, checking it for backdoors, possibilities, and, it can provide just the right measure of trust for protecting your secrets. On a software base, that's really easy, but on a hardware base, that's already a lot harder, because there are not that many open hardware initiatives. There are some things, there are some chip designs, but it's not a motherboard yet. It's not a complete system yet. And if you do have something, be aware of the risks you're running. Be aware of what can go wrong, what can't go wrong, what you have protected. And one of the important things is you have to protect your assets that protect your secrets from manipulation. Because one of the things you've seen is if there's manipulation in your device and antennas are added or whatever, you might have a real security leak. And, before we go to the questions that you can ask me, I just have one question to you. Is your laptop currently unattended in your tent? I hope not. Okay, that concludes my talk.
Thank you very much, Paul. I'll take questions from the floor. Just before I do, I thought I'd mention that the event you described of the PGP book being exported in paper format from the United States legally and then scanned in occurred at this gathering in 1997 at HIP. There was a PGP scanning, all 600 or 700 pages, so there's a long, illustrious history of that at this event. Questions, anyone?
Any questions? No questions? You can always reach me in the tent.
Maybe not a question, but if you want to have your PGP key signed, join us in the birthday tent from 6 to 8.